48 hours in Ipoh. Is it worth your while? Well, you're going to find out in this video. We took a train from Kuala Lumpur up to Ipoh and spent a couple of days there in this town. And at the end of the video, we're going to share with you what we spent, who it's for, and really, is it worth your while to visit Ipoh?
The hotel owner told us a couple of things that we had to do, but we actually like getting lost.
Yeah, we do. So we headed out in the morning sun, very warm. That will keep being spoken about as we go through this video. And the first thing we found about Ipoh is just how walkable it is. Remember those arches?
Lovely arches. That's what gives character to the buildings, and the sun blinds as well.
Yeah, so you got these arches, and what they do is they protect you from the sun during the day, and if it's raining, it protects you from the rain as well. Interestingly, before we got to Ipoh, I don't know if you remember, we watched that video from a guy, another YouTuber who was just passing through, and one of his main takeaways from Ipoh was it's not designed for the pedestrian.
I think it actually is more than anywhere we've been recently.
Yeah, I don't know how much time he spent in Southeast Asia, but it's more walkable and more for a pedestrian than almost anywhere I've seen, because it's got that way about it.
Yeah.
The next thing we did, Sarah, is do you remember as we were walking through, we saw all that street art?
Yes, you see the street art all over Ipoh, and it actually shows the rich history of the town.
It's something that you find all over Southeast Asia, really, is street art. It's a lovely way to spruce up an area. And a lot of the street art you find in Ipoh is more in the centre. This was as we were walking in. We then arrived at the river, and there was the Ipoh waterfront, where they serve the Ipoh white coffee, wasn't it?
Yes. Very quiet because it was still early in the morning. So we wandered through the park, and there was just a few people sort of having their sleep on the benches and things like that. Not homeless,
around.
but just having been out, probably driving all night or something.
Yeah, exactly. And we really wanted at this point to try the Ipoh white coffee, which is made with a mix of margarine, some sugar, and they can often put some condensed milk in it to make it a little bit creamy. Desperate to do it, and we saw this amazing little tea room and coffee room to do it in, but I'll say, we were hot. This is something you'll see in all of our videos. Are we designed for Southeast Asia?
Probably not.
Unlikely. So we saw in there, it looked great, but it was so hot. There wasn't any air conditioning. And the one thing you'll find is we are always in search of coffee and air conditioning.
As we got into the old town of Ipoh, we stumbled upon this lovely coffee shop. It was very well hidden and didn't really look like a coffee shop when we first approached it, but it was a really modern little
and it had air conditioning.
Quaint place.
I think that's a point Sarah was saying. It had air conditioning. So
as soon as we walked in.
Yeah, and there was that. It was, again, just a lovely space, really, and we got in there. There was that little family in the corner that had one dessert.
Huge.
It was massive. Don't know what was in it.
Surprised we didn't have that.
No. That was a nice little coffee stop. What is it you had? That looked amazing.
Oh, I had a carrot cake with the cream cheese but salted caramel all over it. It was amazing.
I had a burnt cheesecake. Everything seems burnt in this country. They need new ovens, I think. Anyway, we're heading on now to Concubine Lane, whatever that's all about.
And after that, we wandered through some flea markets.
Yeah, we left the coffee shop and meandered our way down, and we saw some really cool flea markets. And as you can see, Sarah's never going to miss a shopping opportunity. Did you buy?
I didn't buy, and I probably would have done actually, but the lady was so close to me, like breathing down my neck, trying to show me absolutely everything, and that actually just puts me off.
Yeah, what's your view on this? Because as we travel, most places actually are very, very chilled, very, very chilled. We don't get chased down. But when you do get chased down and you've got someone breathing down your neck, do you spend less money? Because we always do. It's like, all right, mate, we're going to move on. I went into a shop in somewhere. It was, I don't know where it was. Went in a shop recently in Malaysia just to look for cable for my camera. And I'm wandering just around a cable shop, and a guy is following me every step of the way. So it basically chased me around the shop and chase me back out again.
I also feel like they don't trust us, and that's what I just think.
Yeah, so it's like, if you don't trust us, we'll head off somewhere else.
Maybe look dodgy.
So we left there and we headed down to Concubine Lane. Now, Concubine Lane was once the red light district of Ipoh, but we'll tell you more about that in a few minutes.
Concubine Lane is now more of a tourist lane with shops and cafes for locals and visitors.
Yeah, but you know what, Sarah? It was this one thing here that really got me thinking about home.
Okay.
Sarah, just thought, did you ring your mum last night?
Typical.
And then we continued our walk. We saw a lot of streets look like this, with diagonal cars parked, and it gave us a memory, didn't it?
It did. It reminded us of Florida Keys.
Yeah.
Well, America, actually.
Yeah, it did. And the funny thing is, now we look back at the footage, we're looking at it going, why? Why did we think this reminded us of America? It looks
It's just
nothing
at that
like
particular
America.
time, I think we both said Florida Keys.
We did, and I think it might be just how the cars
Yeah,
are parked.
probably.
I don't know, we're an odd pair like that. Unsurprisingly, once again, the heat of the day was attacking us. And as we came out of Concubine Lane, we found this place called Coco Baby.
You really must visit this place if you're in Ipoh and see William, the owner, and tell him that we sent you.
If you're on Concubine Lane, just at the end, you'll see this place, Baby Coco. Fantastic. Everything they do is coconut based, everything fresh, even the fruit. Sarah, what have you ordered there?
I went for the coconut shake, so it's just a plain coconut. It's really refreshing and it's got big chunks of coconut in it.
And I went for coconut and strawberry. And the guys in here, absolutely brilliant. So come along and support a small business in Ipoh.
This was one of the things that the hotel manager told us that we must visit, the Tea Museum.
Yeah, so a couple of things to tell you before we get further in this is that we're not really museum kinds of people. Sorry, if you can hear a lot of noise, I don't know if you can, but that may happen a lot during this video. This is currently Chinese New Year, and it doesn't matter that at the moment it's 7:46 in the morning. They're going to be letting off fireworks. Anyway, we're not really museum types of people, and I'm not a massive tea drinker, so I thought, is this going to be fun? We were told to make an appointment, which we did, and we got down there. Lovely lady, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm. Lovely lady. She gave us a really nice introduction before we entered the museum about the history, and then let us free.
Yeah, so
Which is nice.
Not only did she let us free, but it was free.
It was free.
And that was something that certainly attracted me to this. So yeah, she showed us around the downstairs area, told us just how old and rickety the stairs were.
We could only do one at a time.
We could only do one at a time.
I don't know if she told everyone that, whether it was just us.
Yeah, yeah, maybe it was me again. Oh, hang on, there's something going on here. But we made our way up. Really, really interesting place, and we learnt about Dr. Ho, I think that was his name.
Yes,
it was.
was.
In 1941, he started all this as a herbal tea production facility, and he sold it locally, didn't he?
He did. It was for the local miners in the tin mines. They suffered a lot from respiratory diseases, and this tea was supposed to be helping them with the
respiratory diseases. So it was seen as a flu medicine, and he would sell it literally on the side outside this establishment. And if you see, I'm not sure if I got a photograph of it, but they had tables put out like a cafe, looked like a really cool place to be.
Just the stand at the front where he actually sold it from.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But now it's become an industry. Now it's called, what's the name of the company?
It's Hovid.
Rhymes with COVID.
Pharmaceutical, yeah.
I don't know if they named that
No,
right.
that's right.
And what's the range that they do in there? So they do a ginger tea. The ginger tea was great.
It's, I think the base of the tea is all the same, but then there's a ginger one, which is very nice.
Yeah.
There's a nighttime one, which is supposed to help you sleep and calm you down. I don't know if it did that to me when I tried it, but
No.
Yeah. There's a
One to cool you.
one to cool you, which
To
doesn't
reduce
help.
heatness.
Yeah.
To reduce heatness, that's what they say.
I've tried that as well.
That didn't work.
And then a traditional one.
Yeah, and now they actually export the Hovid tea to 70 countries around the world. So next time you're in a nice little organic shop somewhere, have a look out for Hovid, try it out. You get really big tea bags, and you could probably steep
You
3 or 4
make a
cups
pot
of tea.
instead, whereas we haven't
Beautiful.
got that. But
I actually learnt a lot, and I'm not a great tea drinker, come to think of it.
no,
But
especially black tea.
yeah, especially black tea. But you know what it's like? Every museum, it's a gift shop at the end. So we did not leave
Sold.
empty-handed. We were sold. What have we got in there?
We have got, so it's a good little pack actually.
Yeah,
we've got
Done
10
very well, done
sachets.
very well.
10 sachets of tea. There's all
Yes.
different types of tea, but we went for the gold one, which is a milder one.
Mild.
We have some...
Got these envelopes, which are for Chinese New Year. Didn't buy them, they were just thrown in. We got
a cup to drink our tea with.
Got a cup.
We have 2 cans of ready-made tea, which you can have ice
like an
cold.
iced tea, yeah.
It's good. We have disinfectant wipes, very good for travellers. And we
wipes.
have
We have not been stitched up here at all.
They're actually a pharmaceutical company now, so we have the hand gel as well, which is good for travelling, and also a medicated oil, which is good for mosquito bites, which I can't get. But as soon as you said good for mosquito bites, we were sold.
It's good for mosquito bites. And the important thing is we got tea. That all came to 25 ringgit, so I say we've been stitched up. I don't think we have, given that it was free to get into the museum.
They spend a lot of time talking, lovely lady, talking to us at the beginning, telling us
all of them
the brief
lovely.
history,
Really?
and then a load of free tea at the end of it, and a lovely explanation of each one, and very passionate about what they do. This is like his house, how it all started.
Yeah, it all started here, in this place.
Why not? Tin is what made Ipoh famous, and the next day we headed to the Tin Museum, and we're really pleased that we did that.
Yeah. Again, not museum people, so going to a tin museum doesn't sound like the most exciting thing. You know, for me, going to a museum, if I'm going to enjoy it, it's going to be like a circus museum.
Or electronics, anything
electronics or something like that.
Tin.
Tin museum. But we did as we were told, and you have to book to go to the Tin Museum because it's a guided tour. Yet again, it is free. It's good to give a donation at the end.
Yes. We learned that tin mining started in the 1800s in the Kinta Valley that surrounds Ipoh, and was actually started by 2 Chinese immigrants aged just 16 and 19.
Ipoh became known as the tin mine to the world, and actually where the museum is situated is in the club of the tin mining bosses, the hacker bosses down there. And all of the people in that tin mining club were Chinese hacker people.
And as you can see, they had some fun times here, eating together, drinking, enjoying some of the local opium, gambling, and well,
let's just say that right opposite the Hacker Miners Club is Concubine Lane. So don't want to go into detail on other activities that took place in there, but I know the guy that showed us around this museum told us that that area, the Concubine Lane area, was forbidden for wives to visit. I don't know why that would be, because we went there and it was lovely, wasn't it? It was, you know, you had all the gift shops. Oh yeah, times have changed. But Sarah, what was the most exciting bit of that tin museum? What was it?
I have to say it was the safe that was in the office that they'd set up, because it was from Birmingham, where I'm from.
Yeah, it's from Sarah's hometown. So as we're doing this tour and learning all this amazing stuff about just all these incredible jobs that people did in these tin mines, and he explained how they earn money. It was really, we're not going to fill you in on it all now because you need to get down there and do it. But Sarah, no, none of that. That safe's from Birmingham. She had to actually interrupt him to say, it says Birmingham. He said, yeah, it comes from Birmingham, England. Yeah. Is that interesting?
Very, very, very old. Yeah. So it was great.
Yeah, and the safe was. So, who is Ipoh for? How long should you stay? And what did we spend? So who would you say it's for?
I would say it's for anyone that is travelling, obviously, through Malaysia and has got the time to spend, 3 or 4 nights there?
Yeah, I think so. We spent 3 nights, which gave us 2 days in Ipoh, and we missed out on going to the caves, which was something we really wanted to do. So we will be back in Ipoh at some point in the future for sure. So we had 2 days, 3 or 4 is probably right. So the title of this video being 48 hours in Ipoh, you could do it in 48 hours, but why not 72 or 80, 96, is that right? I think that's right.
It's too early.
If you got a calculator, just work that out, will you? Don't stick it in the comments, because I got a calculator, I can work that out for myself. So the next thing is, how much did we spend? Now, we're going to throw that on screen at the moment so you can see all that. We're not going to break it all down. We'll put it predominantly in US dollars and Malaysian ringgit so you can see exactly what we spent. But your mileage may differ. We stayed in the Bedrock Hotel. If you want to see what that's like, go back to our previous video. You might want something a lot posher or something a lot more simple, and you may want to do more local food. You know, so this is just our general findings that you can use.
Next week we head to Penang, and after a slow start we actually really love it.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. And in the meantime, if you're watching this in the next 7 days, we'll throw up here our Malaysian playlist of all of our videos from Malaysia. But we also have got to say a massive thank you to every one of our Patreons, without which there would be no To Go Roam. If you want to check out all the fun, there's a link below this video. You've been watching To Go Roam. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.